Hi there, I am Becky Amble, and I want to share an AI tip with you. And for some reason, the recording was not working earlier, so we will try this again. I'm going to share my screen, and I put together a little PowerPoint presentation for you. It's a very basic one, so I'm going to go over there and grab that. And here we are. And what I want to share with you is ChatGPT's new live voice feature. And what they have done really is improved it. I want to share some ideas with you on what it is, how to use it, what makes it better, some benefits, drawbacks, and some examples on how you can use it. And the big idea is that it's just better. It has better real-time conversation. And if you've tried it before, you'll probably notice a little bit better conversation. It sounds a little bit better and all that kind of thing. And the biggest thing is that if you haven't used it in this manner before, now you have, I lost my quote mark, now you have a live thinking partner. So you get to talk to ChatGPT on your phone or on your computer and have it engage with you. So that's the real value here. And you can have it interview you, challenge your thinking, role play in different roles, a buyer, a government, IRS agent, you name it, you could come up with something. And you can rehearse presentations. You can even use it to help you organize ideas that you have. Let's take a look here too of what makes it better. Now, it's faster than most of us can type, and it's more natural because we're talking, and that is more natural than, frankly, our typing style that most of us use. And it can be more useful because you can do role plays, as you can see, coaching, brainstorming, a variety of things. And typing or using dictation is best when you already know what you want to ask. So if I'm doing something, I might say, hey, I want you to write a LinkedIn post for me based on my last book, which it already has. And I want you to have 3 key points, and I want you to have a great hook and make it snappy and kind of fun, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's what I would type or dictate because it's pretty much right in my head. It's not going to be that much stuff, and I will just type away or possibly dictate. And so using the voice app is really helpful when you need to think out loud, you want to practice, you want to have some dialogue, explore ideas, get things going. The key point here is the value is not just dictation, because you can use the dictation prompt for that. The value is having a live conversation because basically you're going to talk to ChatGPT and it's going to talk back. Now, availability and access, just want you to know a couple things. This is available on free plans as well as Pro, the basic paid plan. And some people will get, or the paid users will get GPT Live 1, and the freebies will get Live Mini. And my understanding is that the voice part works the same way for either one. It just in the mini, the free version, is not going to have quite as much capability for analysis and things like that. It is not available at this point in ChatGPT Business, Enterprise, or EDU workspaces. Now, some of this is going to change, I suppose, over time, so keep that in mind. And if you don't see it, it might still be rolling out to your account. Sometimes they do it by region, and they have different ways that they do it. So if you don't find it, that might be the thing. And then how to use it, I'm just going to walk through this, is you open ChatGPT on your computer or your phone, and I already showed you that. So it's going to look kind of like this. Heck, I don't know if you can see it now that I've got the PowerPoint up. Okay, we'll move on. And you're going to click or tap the voice icon. It's really usually at the right end of the voice or the prompt box. And it's going to be either a blue or a black circle with 4 vertical lines. And that you might be asked to access the microphone. If it says use your microphone or something, just agree to do that. And then a good thing to do is to start with a role and give it a task. So start with a role like here, this one, it says act as my business coach, and tell it what you want it to do. Give me feedback, role play with me, whatever. And then ask ChatGPT to ask you one question at a time. So the conversation stays focused. You don't want it to give you like 5 questions or 10 questions and then have you try to remember what it was and all that. And when you're all done, you can ask it for a written summary. You can ask it for some next steps. You can ask it for a reusable prompt, whatever you decide you want to do. Okay, let's take a look. And some practical examples here is use it for rehearsing a sales call, a podcast interview, or some other interview, a keynote, webinar, a difficult conversation. We've all had those. And hey, it might be a really good idea to practice that. And you can give it roles again, the skeptical CEO, CFO, board member, customer, potential customer. And let's say that you have an idea that you haven't quite developed. This can be a great thing to use because you're using it as a sounding board, and it can help you really organize your thoughts into clearer points. And it can also have you practice answering objections that you might have before a meeting, a sales meeting, or any kind of other meeting where you're going to expect some back and forth. You can use it as a live interviewer. And what's really cool about that is it is going to ask you questions. It might ask you questions that have you come up with ideas that you hadn't even thought of. So it can be fun from that standpoint and a useful tool. And again, if you've got meetings, sometimes it's a great thing to go do a meeting recap when you have ideas that are fresh in your head or something that came up in the meeting, and now you've got a couple new ideas and you don't want to lose them. How about some benefits? Well, it lowers the friction so you can start out with an idea that's not that put together, and you can have it help you get some feedback and structure something. And it really is great for role plays and practicing things that you want to say. You can build confidence because now you're rehearsing and you feel like you've got a little practice under your belt. It creates momentum. It says here you can talk about walking, commuting, whatever. And I used to do that a lot when I was out walking. In fact, I would dictate so much, probably using the dictation thing versus the voice back and forth. But I used to basically dictate articles when I was out walking. And it seemed like a good time to be doing that kind of thing. And this could be a good time if you're out walking, riding an exercise bike on a treadmill, where your mind might be engaged in a different way. And you might have some ideas to really use for brainstorming. And again, it can capture the conversation and turn it into a written prompt. So if you're wanting to do some brainstorming and not take notes, it'll do it for you. You can see at the bottom here that there's a prompt you could use to say, now summarize my strongest points, weak points, and the exact next steps I need to take. And you could even go further than that and have some other critique. Okay, let's look at some downside. Availability might vary. It might not be available in your account or quite yet. And it's not ideal for confidential information. So set your privacy settings and make sure all that's squared away, and make sure you know what the policies are where you work as far as what you can be doing on the LLMs. It can misunderstand speech, accents, names. There might be background noise, or you name it, so that can cause some problems. And remember, it is an LLM, so it is supposed to get you information and answers, and it can sound confident even when it is wrong. And the GPT Live 1 does not support video or screen sharing, so if you're trying to do that, this isn't the tool for that. And it doesn't support the ChatGPT apps. So if you've got some other things you're trying to do, just that's not the right tool. How about making sure you have a good prompt? And you might know that I wrote a book called How to Talk AI, and it was all about my CLEAR process, CLEAR. Each letter stands for a concept, so it's very similar to this. So what is really helpful is give yourself some structure when you're dealing with this voice option, and tell GPT who you want it to be. So a CEO, a CFO, a teammate, whatever it might be, a parent, a child, who knows what you're going to come up with, and tell it what you want to accomplish. So give it the goal, and process, very important. Tell it to ask you one question at a time. And if you forget that, you can start over and remind it or tell it to do one question at a time and give it another round. And tell it to challenge you, not just encourage you, which, if any of you've seen my latest article, I'm talking about if AI loves you too much, because it's really kind of nice for AI to tell you how talented and smart you are. What a great idea. Although that might not be what we really need to hear all the time. You can also, as your output, ask for a written summary, a checklist, an email. You can see you have various options. And there's a prompt down at the bottom for you. Act as a skeptical CEO. Interview me about this idea one question at a time. So again, remember, if you're using that prompt, you have to tell it what the idea is and challenge weak assumptions at the end. Give me the strongest version of my idea, the biggest risks, 3 action items. And keep in mind that a lot of people use ChatGPT like a search box, right? I'm sure we've all done that where we say, hey, tell me about X, Y, and Z. Well, now try using it as a live thinking partner. So it's going to go back and forth with you and have a conversation. And instead of typing a perfect prompt, you can go to the voice and you can tell it what you're working on, what you're trying to find out. And through that whole discussion, you might just come up with a really good prompt and you can have it interview you, challenge you. You can see all of that. And again, if you've got an idea that you haven't quite been able to crystallize, it can really be a great tool to brainstorm and help you do that. And you can see prompt down there, help me think out loud, ask me questions until the idea is clear, turn my answers into a simple plan. I found ChatGPT and Claude, the two main ones, well, and I use Gemini a fair amount as well, is to really help put together a plan, step by step, some of those kinds of things. If you're feeling stuck, it can just be a really good tool to maybe think outside the box. And that is actually one of the terms that I use sometimes. And what we're going to do is go through a little demonstration. So I'm going to do that with you. Keep in mind, the thing here is that the magic is not the voice. The magic is that you can think with it in real time. So it's going to be your thinking partner. Okay, we're going to go there and we're going to go over to ChatGPT right now. I'm going to stop the share. I don't know if it matters a lot. Sometimes it gets a little goofy if we don't stop it. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to go find my ChatGPT right here. And we're going to go to a new chat. And there you can see the black circle with the little lines. So I'm just going to click that. It'll take a minute for it to come awake. And we get this blue with the white little globy thing. And hopefully it'll say something to me when it's ready to go. Well, I heard something. Hey, Megan, are you there?
Hey, I'm here with you. I
Okay.
don't hear Megan on this line. What are you trying to do?
Oh, what's your name?
I'm ChatGPT. What's
Oh,
going
you're
on?
just ChatGPT. Okay, because when I've used this before and asked for a name, it said the name was Megan. So that's just fine. We're going to call you ChatGPT then.
Sounds good.
I'd like to do a little role play. We'll just do part of a role play. And I want you to be a potential customer that has some salespeople that aren't performing so well, a couple people that are doing great, and then quite a few people that aren't doing so well. And we've developed something that we call sales DNA. And that's where we interview, well, we basically get recordings of the top salesperson and we then create a model for everybody else to follow. So we've got the words that that person used, we've got the steps they go through, all of that kind of thing. And then what we do is we have other people that aren't doing so well record their sales calls, and the model that we build coaches them and gives them some feedback and tells them different words that they could use and that kind of thing. So I want to talk to you. You are the sales leader and you've got some salespeople that aren't doing so hot. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, shoot, that's me.
Okay.
This is pretty. Go ahead.
Okay, so hey, I'll just call you Chat. Hey, Chat. I know that we had previously had just an introduction, and you wanted to talk a little bit about your sales team's sales performance.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been meaning to get into this. We have a couple of reps that are just amazing, crushing it. Then there's quite a few that aren't even getting close to their numbers. And it's a bit frustrating, honestly. I feel like I'm leaving a lot of money on the table.
Yes,
So,
I can tell by your voice and what you're saying that you definitely are frustrated. Do you have any idea what the gap is from your top performer, one or two people, to your lower ones? Like, is it 2x? Is it 20%? Is it, a lot of people have told me they have some pretty large gaps. What do you think yours is?
Yeah, uh, I'd say at least 2x. In some territories, it feels like even more, honestly. The top folks just get it, and the others just kind of spin their wheels.
Have you been able to determine what it is that the top people do that makes them so successful?
You know, I've tried. They ask better questions, I guess, and they're way more consistent with follow up, like clockwork. And the rest, it's just all over the place.
Hmm, okay. Well, chat, just in the sense of time, I think we'll stop there. Appreciate your getting in this dialogue with me to show the people that are tuned in to look at another AI tip that I'm sharing with them. So you were the subject of the tip today.
Happy to help.
Thanks again.
You're welcome. That demo had a nice flow.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, let me see. I probably should go back because I've done a couple of things like this live with people. And actually, one of the ones that was really fun was when I was speaking to a group about how to use AI in their job search. And I had somebody volunteer, and we went through a job interview, and I forgot to close ChatGPT. And then I went on to like the next topic or something. And there, ChatGPT started talking to us. So keep in mind that you sometimes you need to stop it and close it up. Anyway, I hope you give it a try. And like I said, you can do it on your phone. It's going to look like that. You see the little blue thing? Yeah, let me see. Can I get at it, point at it there? And then once it's activated, it gets that little globe type of thing. And you just start talking. You can do like I did and say, "Hey, are you there?" Or usually it just says something. And I've used it to tell jokes at presentations where I'll say, "Hey, I'm in Minnesota and we have a team, football team called Minnesota Vikings, and they just never seem to make it to the top at the end of the season. Do you have a joke for me?" So I do things like that. So you can do something that's just fun. And obviously, you can do things that are pretty serious. So it's a great tool. Let me know if you use it and what you think, how it goes. If you've got any challenges with it, it's pretty simple, straightforward, on your phone or on your computer. And I think from our little example today, you won't have any trouble with it. If you do, give me a holler, and I would love to hear what you've done with it. Thanks a lot, and we will see you next time.